It's March 28th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a meltdown no one saw coming, a killer tracked and exposed, and a quiet law that changed daily life in a way no one expected. Let's begin. On March 29, 1979, at exactly 4 a.m., something went wrong inside the 3 Mile Island nuclear generating station. At first, it was a quiet failure. A cooling system stopped, then the reactor automatically shut down, just as it was designed to do. But deep inside the system, a single valve was stuck open, and no one knew. In the control room, blinking lights and gauges told a story that wasn't real. Operators believed the reactor had too much water, but in reality, it was slowly draining away. So they did the unthinkable. They turned off the emergency cooling, and inside, the core temperature began to rise. Metal wore, fuel rods cracked, and the reactor started to melt. A massive hydrogen bubble formed, trapped inside the system. If ignited, the plant would be torn apart. Outside, the morning came like any other day, not knowing nuclear crisis was unfolding just miles away. For days, confusion reigned, conflicting reports, growing fear, and over 100,000 people fled, unsure if the air itself had become dangerous. And then slowly, the reactor stabilized. No explosion, no immediate deaths, just a damaged core, and a question that lingered long after. How close had they really come? The 3 Mile Island accident did release some radioactive material into the environment, but they claim that the levels were too low to cause any detectable health effects in the workers or the public. On March 28, 1845, a man quietly stepped onto a train believing he had just gotten away with murder. His name was John Tawell, a former convict, once sent to Australia, but had returned a wealthy and respected man who was hiding a secret life. Just hours earlier, a woman, his mistress, named Sarah Hart, lay dying. The cause? A nearly undetectable poison, prussic acid. Just a sudden collapse, and then a faint, bitter smell in the air. By the time suspicion turned to Tawell, he was already gone, riding the rails towards London, disappearing into the growing machinery of the industrial age. But something new was waiting for him. Along the tracks, wires stretched across the countryside, the electric telegraph. For the first time in history, police didn't have to chase a suspect. They could outrun him. A message was sent ahead, a man in a brown coat believed to be the murderer. Station by station, the description traveled faster than the train itself, and when he stepped off at his destination, he didn't realize he had already been seen. He was followed and arrested the next day, and in court, the evidence closed in, and soon after, so did the news. Do you think he realized on the train that something felt off? Or did he truly believe he had just gotten away with murder? On March 28, 1919, a law passed in France. No baker was allowed to work between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. At first, it sounded like progress, an end of a brutal overnight labor that had defined baking for generations. But by morning, something strange had begun to happen. The bread wasn't ready. For centuries, French bakers had relied on slow fermenting, heavy loaves, massive rounds of sourdough that needed the night to rise. And now the night was gone, and with it, the bread. Bakers faced an impossible choice: break the law or change bread itself. So they adapted. They stretched the dough longer and thinner, faster to rise, faster to bake. A shape that would be made in a fraction of the time. Something new emerged from the ovens of Paris. Long and pale, they called it a baguette, a wand, or a stick. There's something eerie about its origins. It wasn't just a recipe, it was a forced evolution. A food shaped by time, by pressure, and by law. Some say the texture came from the steam ovens introduced decades earlier, technology quietly waiting for its moment. Others whispered of stranger theories, that workers building the Paris metro needed bread that they could tear by hand, so knives wouldn't spark violence underground. But one thing is certain, the bread that defies France today wasn't created by tradition, it was created by a restriction. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.